Welcome, guys, to something you've all been waiting for. It's something I've been waiting for to do. I finally got around to doing it. This is PvP 101. I'm going to start my characters today. The first character has to be Camilla because it's actually the name of the page, obviously, and she's my favorite character. So today we're going to be learning about Camilla and how to use her properly in PvP. Now, before we do anything in this video, I need to make a quick disclaimer. This is purely based on my personal wins with Camilla. Alone with Camilla, I've soloed a couple of maps in hard difficulty, and I've beaten quite a few players actually with Camilla alone on PvP. So I want to share with you my personal builds and my personal experience with these characters. These are not by far, quote unquote, the best of all time. There's probably people out there that have discovered better sets than me, but right now I'm showing you my personal builds. Now these builds, I can go ahead and tell you, these have all won me personally tons of PvP matches. So I'm taking into account each win I have, each loss I have, the percentages certain skills go off, everything I take into consideration when I make these videos. So these aren't some rushed videos you're getting. You're getting very thought out, very well thought out products. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and step into this video. Tips and Tricks presenting Camilla the Critzerker. Now, I'm going to explain to you what a Critzerker is before we get into the rest of the video. The Critzerker is obviously very well known in the PvP community as a berserker that focuses on complete crits. It does nothing but crits. So we've gone through all the characters that have access to berserker and came up with the best strategies and sets for them and what to run on them and what helps them in combat the most. What we're going to do is we're going to go into each of these details in this video, along with why each skill or why each weapon you need is needed. So without further ado, again, we're going to the next part of the video, which is what you're going to need to get this. Now, if you're going to want to marry whoever you want with Camilla, you're going to have to do the first one. You're going to have to A rank with Baruka. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The only other way you can get this is by marrying Arthur or Keaton. So if you don't want to force yourself to have to marry the avatar with a berserker background, a berserker secondary, or Keaton or Arthur, you're going to have to do this right here. So you're going to need to do your A rank with Baruka, so she will pass down the fighter line, which will allow you to go hero, but most of all, we don't care about that. Most of all, we're going to want the berserker out of this. So the two weapons you're going to be using most of all are the Great Club and the Killer Axe. Both of these are the crit weapons that Camilla will have access to. Forged +7 or anything above +5 to +7 is recommended for these. And the last thing you're going to need is you're going to need patience, because if you don't have access to the DLCs for grinding, if you don't have access to all these things right off the bat, this is going to take you some time to make perfect. So make sure when you do these, you don't try to rush it. You just make sure everything's correct. Otherwise, you're going to have a failed product. So we're going to go into the next part, which is the skills. Now, this is the most important step of this process. I've already gone ahead and put down the skills you must have, the recommended, and optionals. So you've got quite a bit of skills to select from, but the first three you're going to want is you're going to want Death Blow, Sword Breaker, and Tome Breaker. Those are going to be musts. The reason Bow Breaker isn't on here, or Shuriken Breaker, or any of those aren't on here, is because you don't need them. What you're going to want to do, because going by the weapon triangle, axes are weak to swords and magic. So you're going to want to be very careful around those kind of characters in PvP, because Azura and many magic users are there. So you're gonna need Tome and Swordbreaker for sure if you're going to have any chances of playing with Camilla without anybody wanting to just go play with the child characters, because that's mostly what you're gonna see is children characters. But if you want to show them children characters what's up with the first generation characters, I'm the man to go to. So we're gonna read out the recommended ones. The next one is Life Taker, Replicate, Gale Force, and Axe Fair. Those 4 skills are very key skills in PvP. Now, the reason being, some people like to use Berserker axes to cause massive amounts of damage if they don't have great clubs or killer axes. And Life Taker actually negates the 20% health loss or 30% health loss, whichever one it is, off of that by giving you all 50% back off of the kill that you get. And don't worry about, oh, I'm barely going to do damage, it might not activate. You're going to get kills with this. There's no way that you're not. This is all strictly for one hit KOing everything. You're going to activate crits quite a bit, so you're going to be pretty happy off with this build. Our recommended sets are Aegis Pavis, Aggressor, and Aether. As you can see, if you don't have access to Life Taker or you haven't found the skill but you want to go into PvP, grabbing Aether is a great backup. And sometimes it's preferred over Life Taker. But the reason I did it optional instead of recommended is because I never have problems with getting kills. Camilla, probably, if I could count, I know she has at least 85 PvP kills on her own. And this is against actual moving players, not like the castles and stuff. These are actual players from across the world. Like, I can tell you right off the bat, this is going to be a really good build for you if you're wanting to do massive amounts of damage and you can protect Camilla. Which brings me to Aegis and Pavis. They're not recommended due to your teammates usually being able to take care of anything that Camilla can't kill on her own. So I don't really run Aegis and Pavis as much, although I do run Pavis some. I do run Aegis some due to the Excalibur users and stuff online, and the Forged Ragnarok users, and the Forged that really long G word that's like an A tome or something for tomes. I use Aegis a lot because even though her skill and luck isn't the best, it does activate quite a bit, and it does help out in pinch situations. But I did discover that Tomebreaker was also an option, which I completely forgot about. I don't know why I forgot about it. So after I stopped running Aegis, I went and quickly got Tomebreaker, and I never had a problem with magic users after that. They hardly ever hit me. I had just so much fun just one-shotting them over and over and over. Gale Force is obviously if you're not gonna run Azura, but if you do run Azura, you more than likely can get 3 turns, like 3 kills on one turn. Gale Force kill one. Your normal kill, your Gale Force kill, and then using Azura to warp to Camilla, sing, and then go get another kill. So basically, you get 3 times of movement in that one turn if you can get at least 2 kills off of it. So that's the cool part about that. But overall, it gets really complicated when we start bringing in other characters. So I'm going to try to focus on just Camilla for the moment. Axe Fair is if you want to put the nail in the coffin. If you're concerned that you're probably not going to get all the kills, adding the +5 to damages with Axe will definitely put the nail in the coffin. Although you won't be able to run all 3 of those must skills and Life Taker and Replicate, which I would definitely put over those 2. Any other skill, probably more than likely, my top 5 would be Deathblow, Swordbreaker, Tomebreaker, Life Taker, and Replicate usually. I do put Axe Fair on there sometimes against like super bulky builds for characters, but usually that doesn't even matter because my crit always activates on those characters. So really, you're going to see a lot of salt from players with this build. So after you play around with these, find what works for you though. Really, you don't have to do just my top 5. Really, you don't even have to use the must skills, although you really want to keep Tonebreaker as much as possible. Like, Death Blow is an absolute must. Like, you cannot play this class without Death Blow. Tonebreaker, more than likely, you can't play without it. You can probably get around Swordbreaker, though. But overall, just find skills that you like off this list, mix them around, play with them, try them out. You can even try my honorable mention. My 2 honorable mention skills I forgot to put are Counter and Counter Magic. Those are also, if I had a top 12, those 2 would definitely take the next 2 spots, but I can't really put those on this list because they're not as important to me. But they may be as important to you, so those are also accessible to you. So yeah, like I said, just experiment around with the skills, see what you like, see what works for you, and then take it to PvP one day. See how it works. See if you need to, fix something up, or maybe a certain skill doesn't work for you. I don't know. It's just whatever it is. So after that, we're gonna get to the finalized product of what you all been waiting for, what the stats and all that stuff are. We're going to look at the finalized Camilla right here. She's going to cap out at 44 strength, 25 magic, 36 skill, 35 speed, 25 luck, 30 defense, and 25 resistance. And like I said, my top 5 skills are Death Blow, Replicate, Swordbreaker, Tonebreaker, and Lifebreaker. If you guys have any questions about this, or if you guys just want to explain to me, if you guys have any questions, or if you want to insert your own opinion of something, just please put it down in the comments below. Let me know. I would love to hear your feedback. If you use this, please let me know. Tell me how it worked. If you'd like me to maybe try to tweak it or have another kind of Camilla, maybe you already have a really good Berserker and you want another class. I actually have quite a few things you can end Camilla as. But this is overall the most potent for me. It gets all the work done that I need. It crits a heck of a lot. And it just puts in so much work. So that's going to be the end of this video for now, guys. If you guys have any, like I said, questions or anything, comments, just put them in the comment section below. Like this and subscribe. And let me know what character you want next. So yeah, please tell me what characters you want next in the comment section below. Fill it up and just let's go to town.